Go to that club. We need to see if we can hear our voice this time. Hello, hello.
To that same link that you sent me? Hmm?
Hello, hello. No, just go to Black Girl page. That was just a private link. I want to see if it works. Where's my phone at? That club. We need to see if we can hear our voice this time. Yeah. Welcome, welcome, Amari. Come here. Hit my phone, please.
Well, I hit the button for what I still what? I thought they had a speaker button on it.
Is it right there? Yeah, put the time on.
Is that the stove on?
The burner. Yeah, put both of them on. And the timer. So hello, let us know when you come on in the room, say hello.
Hmm?
We live up in here. Mm-hmm.
Just one?
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, Shauna. Um, wait. Okay, go ahead. Hey, Bree. Hey, Shauna. Good evening. Good evening. But we up here trying to share stuff. Share this to your page before we get started. Oh, so I want to share. Yours ain't froze. Share it to your page.
It ain't froze. You don't see you moving? I had it up. You did something.
Hey, Kim, how are you? Tell us where you're from. Share, tell us where you're from.
They got a thing that say watch on TV. Oh, there it is right there.
You could have did a watch party to your page, too. Let's let me do it. All right, so we got um, Shauna, Bree, Kim. Let us know you're here and where you're from. Y'all know we give everybody a few minutes to come on in the room. So join us. Welcome once, welcome twice. Welcome in the name of Jesus Christ. Kim says she blessed and she from Fort Lauderdale. My son lives in Fort Lauderdale, Kim.
North Lauderdale.
Okay, North Lauderdale. What's the difference between Lauderdale and North Lauderdale?
It's a different place.
It's all Fort Lauderdale, right?
No.
So Fort Lauderdale is not Lauderdale?
North Lauderdale.
It's not Fort Lauderdale. It's not, I can't talk.
It is not.
You gotta show me on the map. Okay, so Bree says she from Miami. I got 2 kids in college in Miami and Barry, child. Shauna from Panama City. Woo! Y'all in the building. Y'all, I did. Woo! Y'all sick of this quarantine like that? You sick of me yet, babe?
Oh no. Never that.
Let us know when you come in the room who's watching. Share this broadcast to your page. We're trying to give people a few minutes to get in, but when we get going, we're going all the way live. So
share it with your friends.
That's usually when they page their friends.
Well, not always.
Friends. I mean, I don't like you right now.
You're free to go and find you a quarantine bed.
No, honey, I took too long to train you. So what I'm not finna do, and I said finna, what I'm not finna do is start over.
What they say on Jam Pony? You should have got one out.
Now I'll be a full grown
dog.
Anybody know about Jam Pony? Well, if they from Miami, I don't know if you're from Miami, but if you have lived in Miami for, I don't know how they are though. A few minutes, y'all should know about Jam Pony Express.
Oh
yeah. Lickadale.
Yeah.
I don't know what Lickadale is, but
I won't continue that. Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, I knew that.
Don't you think it?
You're so dumb.
Yeah, buddy. I already shared it.
All right.
I did it already.
To your page?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
Thank you. Okay.
Anyway, so we're gonna get the ball rolling. You know, people will trickle in, and when they do, y'all can tell them what we're talking about. They'll trickle in. Yes.
Yeah.
Look, Jam Pony was in Panama City this past weekend. Was it the old Jam Pony? Because the old Jam Pony, he got gray hair. I didn't even recognize him the other day. Remember on YouTube video? I knew his voice, but I was like, "Ooh, boy, what time I do to you?" We done got old. That wasn't in my twerking season.
That's a blessing.
Shondo. And that was in my twerking season. Ooh, people don't twerk no more. All they do is
That was a long season you had there, Chief.
I ain't studying you. So the old one, yes, girl. I know y'all they get it in. But this is a problem. I don't know these new songs. So when they was trying to do the Jam Pony, I didn't know. Hey, Arlise.
How's the baby?
Yes. How's the married life, Chad? Listen, he was still doing Jam Pony, but I didn't know the songs. When he went to Checker 1, Checker 2, I was there. I was all in. But when he was doing the other mess, I was like, I don't know and one of these songs. So I couldn't thoroughly enjoy the Jam Pony that we saw on the YouTube.
Well, you almost said
What you doing, babe? You turn around in circles.
that.
You shouldn't have such long legs.
I gotta get comfortable.
So we're gonna get started. How you want to tell me what we're talking about this wonderful evening? You want me to do it?
Not really. No.
Okay, my husband's being real insubordinate tonight. He's not acting right. He don't want to participate in that. Woo, I'm telling y'all, marriage is. This is a demonstration of what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the seasons of marriage. Anybody ever heard of seasons of marriage? Give us a heart if you ever heard of what anybody talk about the seasons of marriage. When you talking about the seasons outside.
Not the seasons of the seasons, but the season of the marriage.
The seasons of the marriage. Anybody heard of seasons of the marriage?
Listen, for those of you that's married, that's watching, put what season you think you in the comments.
But we ain't look. Okay, so Crystal done heard of, hey Crystal done heard of seasons of marriage.
Yeah.
So we have winter. Well, okay, let's go in order. So you have spring, summer, fall, and winter.
Right.
So what usually happens outside in the spring?
In the spring, that's when the temperature is just, well, not here in Florida, but in most other places. It's starting to get a little warmer. The snow is melting. Things are beginning to grow and prosper.
Usually pretty it's like exciting. There's something fresh. There's something new.
Right.
Everybody wearing bright colors.
Everybody's spring cleaning.
All those things. It is usually a pretty good season and time everywhere. Now you get some people that got some stuff going on, but generally speaking, it's usually a pretty good season and time when you have when you're in springtime. And don't get me wrong, you have spring in your marriage. I mean, in your life too, not just in Facebook cut off on you. So what happens is flowers, like Bree says, flowers grow right. Everything. That's the time that everything is blossoming. So Crystal says a happy season, right? So the other part of that is we say it's excitement, it's joy, it's hope, it's anticipation, it's optimism, it's gratitude, it's love, it's trust. Right. So that you're telling your spouse that you love them. You're just like, oh, baby, I miss you so much today. And you just going through all these emotions. And it almost would be like you extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, but really, doesn't it go like that?
Yeah, although some people are extra in all the seasons.
Are you trying to make a reference to me, my love?
Of course not. I'm just
saying. I can't even sit over here in big old arm self.
Of course not.
So, in the springtime, actions that people take. They're nurturing, they're planning, they're communicating, seeking help when needed. This is the time that people have weddings a lot too.
Yeah.
Spring weddings are pretty light and joyful, and love is in the air. It just seemed like one of these movies that you see, like you're running through the flowers and people getting married.
What do you call that when you run through?
Frolicking.
You're frolicking.
I was frolicking in my mind just then through the flowers. Although if I frolic now, it's gonna look like a Sasquatch.
Well, but you can't frolic anyway. Frolic. You have allergies.
Don't do that. You ain't gotta mess up the whole story with allergies.
No flowers for you.
Yes. So one of the other things is it says the climate. Usually, everybody's tender. They're open to suggestions. They're caring. They're more apt to help one another. If you're already married, you're making plans on what you're going to do and the future and things of that nature. So that's spring. Anything else you want to say about spring, honey?
No, spring is good. Spring is also analogous to when you're dating or when you first get married, that first little honeymoon period.
You're looking at me. See, that's what happened when you're in spring. He's just looking at his wife.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That first honeymoon period, we still in the honeymoon period after all these years, would be the springtime. But then,
what comes next?
Summer.
So tell us about summer. We learned that spring is awesome and joyful and light and airy, and you're frolicking. It's a good one. No, that's not. That's the club. That's not frolicking.
Oh, that's what you was doing, I thought. Anyway, in summer it started getting hot, and your AC broke. You don't want nobody in your space because it's hot and sticky.
Yeah, well, summer you start to get a little more agitated.
Correct.
Let me see. Might go to my nose. So there is some happiness in summer.
Of course.
Because you're still having the remnants
of spring.
Right. So there's some happiness, there's some satisfaction, accomplishments, connection, peace, fun, trust. It's time that commitments start to grow. You're relaxed. Right. Positive attitude. You going to the beach. All these different things. But also in summer, when you have all these wonderful stories, you also have it gets hot. And when you get hot, hey Yolanda, when you get hot, don't you get agitated? Mm-hmm. You don't want to, but like I know my wonderful husband, when he get hot, he don't want me to touch him. He say my body hot. So we could be sitting right here and he'd be like, scoot over. Now if I had sensitive feelings, I'd be crying because he'd be like, move. But that's because he says my body temperature is hot and he doesn't learn how to use his words except for move. So he throw me away for a minute. But in the summer, you are still like happy and stuff from spring. You're still excited. You're still making plans, but now you're getting agitated from the heat.
Right. You guys jump in the comments and let us know what you think is going on during the summer in your relationship. Some of the things that we may have missed. Because I know
hey,
it gets hot, but some people like the heat.
Babe, I want you to talk about something because they can't write all that stuff right there on that screen. They're gonna be typing the whole soliloquy.
It can be like some people get aggravated in the summer. Some people get heat rash. Some people get.
How you get heat rash in your marriage, honey?
Hey, it could get too hot. You might have a person that's always nagging or always fussing, and they might get a heat rash from that. Ain't no telling.
Oh well, I guess that is the heat rash.
Yeah.
So, in the summer, what happens when we are in the dead heat of summer?
ACs break.
ACs break. You can't cool off fast enough.
Now you know what the AC is, right?
What?
Communication.
Oh. So the AC is communication. Well, you better say that. Well, definitely ACs. Well, actually, sometimes in summer, the ACs have to work too hard, and that's when they give out.
Right.
And so if we're using communication for AC.
There you go. It break down. And the funny part about it is people that fix ACs know it's one small little part in the air conditioning that tends to break all the time, a little capacitor. And it takes one little thing that happens in a relationship to break down communication.
So it takes one little thing in your relationship, AC, which is communication, to break down your AC.
Stand the way you walk when you walk by here.
Crystal say, fix that right. Crystal, he dropped some wisdom over here. He done threw that out there. I got it. I'm about to give him a present. There you go. So we're in the summer. What else is in the summer? In the heat, you can start to have some unresolved issues start to seep up because you're hot, you're aggravated, AC broke, or it's working real hard, and it ain't getting cool enough fast. Nerves. When you get to the car, you sweating. Your AC in your car broke. Like all these things happen a lot during the summer.
Right, and then when the
kids out of school, more money on groceries.
More aggravation because the kids act the fool because they don't have nothing to
do. Right.
And then, too, like we said, once your communication breaks down, you're aggravated. You don't want to talk. So those issues that are arising are not being dealt with. You're pushing them off to later. Well, I think you also start bringing up stuff that you know how there's something that you might want to talk to your spouse about, but you haven't talked to them about it because you don't really know how to talk to them, what to say. Right.
But when y'all know when you get in a heated argument, y'all can just give me some hearts. You start bringing up stuff from 1910, and he's so confused. Like, what does that got to do with me leaving my shoe over there? And you just start talking about your mama said this and your cousin did this. And you remember when you pushed me, you like, what? Wait a minute, where'd that come from? Give me some hearts if y'all ever had that experience. But what happens is you start to bring up the past. You start to be petty.
Vindictive.
Yes, and your marriage can tend to take a drastic slump during this time. Let me see. All right. Anything else you want to say about summer right now? Because we're just explaining these seasons, so we can talk about. Look, Yolanda talking about who cousin real deep. You did that. I know, right? Summer season. So, fall is next. Tell us about fall, my love.
Well, in fall, it starts to get a little cool. And the temperature drops and the leaves fall off the tree. Things start to get a little darker, a little gloomy. You know, it get dark early in the fall. You looking around at 5 o'clock, it's dark.
Right. So when you get aggravated because of the heat, you want to let all the hurt loose. Right.
Yep.
And when you let all the hurt loose, you don't take your time and use careful words. You know those buzzwords we tell you, like never, every day, every time, always. You those things like that we tell you not to use.
Right.
All that is thrown through the wind.
All of the rules go out the window.
Because you know what? You done got on my nerves. It's hot. These stupid kids. You know, y'all can't like y'all have pressures, but you like my stupid house, the stupid everything. Everything just stupid. You just get on my nerves.
Right. You know
what? And you get it for the old and the new. Ali says, thanks, cuz you hold it now. Hold it in. Now you're hiding everything coming out until it cool down. You're going to keep bringing up old stuff. Yeah. Well, I'm going to go further. Not until it cool down, until you deal with those issues.
Right.
Because those issues are there. They just happen to just be like a machine gun. You like, and the person that's receiving the machine gun, the bullets, they like, what? They can't even hit. Wait a minute.
You know, not only that, when you have those unresolved issues that continue about, what that does is breed resentment for your spouse.
Right.
So you upset with them, and all they did was walk by, or they chewing. I don't like the way you chew.
Listen, but it has been times.
Right.
Like for instance, remember I was eating something. You was like, "Why are you smacking?" I was like, "I've been eating like this whole time." Right. But he was aggravated, and so everything I was doing was aggravated. I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go in the room because what you're not gonna do is make me change the way I chew." Change where I've been eating this way for 20 years, 21 years, and all of a sudden now you like, and he like, God, he pausing the TV. You go, the children on I can't the TV. Now that's a big exaggeration.
Get on somewhere. I need you
Listen.
I need you to walk.
All right, Crystal say absolutely. Yes, child. This is we being absolutely candid with y'all. So what you get is facts.
You see somebody, you get the
Yeah. So spring is wonderful. Summer is still off of spring, but then you start to get hot and aggravated. Right. Your AC breakdown, which is your communication. Now we're in the fall. So it says it start to get cool.
Yeah, things start to get dark.
Dark early. Yeah. Yeah, it start to rain, don't it?
No, it don't rain so much in the fall.
What is it? Well, I mean, why does it look dreary then?
Because it gets, remember the time change. And it gets
dark okay, early. Okay. So I'm
messing it up. Cold and the sun is not out as much.
Right.
So it's overcast. You're not getting the sun. It's more dreary. It's more
and like, you can't. And you like in between. You're in between clothing too.
Right, and that's the thing. You got to put out all your winter clothes.
But you don't because in Florida, especially,
right.
It's cold one day, hot another, or it's not cold enough for a sweater, but it's not. You can't wear your regular shirt, so it's a lot of.
You put out the sweater and the moth ate a hole in it.
Stupid, a moth.
Yes, that's your relationship.
So there's so much uncertainty with what I wear to work, what I gotta do, what I gotta plan for. My child got asthma. I gotta do this, gotta do that, and so in this fall season, you start to become a little more disconnected to your spouse.
Right. You start to disengage and don't even realize it. Less talking, more roommating.
So you start to neglect each other.
Right.
You is a failure to seek resolution of issues. So I done told you all your issues in that shotgun in the summer. No, in the
summer, yeah.
No, that wasn't summer. Oh yes, in the summer. Mm-hmm. I done told you all your issues when I was hot and bothered.
Right.
And so now I'm still mad. He's still mad. So now we bringing these issues over that were there already that we didn't talk about, and now we're not. Then now it's just kind of festering.
Yeah, and like you said, it's just dropping you cold because there's no love, no warmth in the relationship. Like my brother-in-law Jerry always say, y'all get mad at each other, and you just reach your arm out, think you're gonna touch something.
That's not yet though. That ain't it.
And your woman sleeping on the.
that ain't this one though.
Yeah, fall too.
Yeah,
it starts.
So
you ain't all the way over there yet, but it's more and more space between.
So when you get in this fall season, you tend to sleep apart.
Right.
I ain't telling you I'm sleeping apart, but I'm sleeping more on this side.
No cutting.
At wrote something. Say it. Read it. You reading it?
Oh, they're talking about they walk by and you be mad at them. Something. I don't like the way you walk.
We read the whole comments by.
Oh, see, that was hilarious. Talking about all they did was walk by. Sam over here rolling laughing.
Listen.
I got it right here.
So, you don't have to attack each other in this season. Mm-hmm. You just start to neglect each other.
Right.
I'm not really, having conversation. I want to know how your day was. I'm not just here to listen. I'm not being attentive. It's just starting a lot of neglect. And it can be on both sides because I'm sick of you, you sick of me, or I don't like what you said to me, all these different things. It's got to go to the other page. Yeah. I know, we already read that stuff up here.
You didn't say anything about that.
Okay, go ahead. Tell that. What you said it though. Go ahead.
Fear, sadness, confusion, dejection, apprehension, discouragement, uncertainty, blaming each other, great concern, emotionally depleted from the summer.
Emotionally depleted from the summer. Now that's a big one because if you ever been fussing and fighting with your spouse, not like us, we just
look. Why are you clapping with it?
But that's what ever. Now when you get high, you gonna clap it. So your ex-girlfriend was better than me? Oh, so you should marry her. We just go women. Y'all know we go to them hands. They just say we pull stuff down.
What's that?
But fall starts a bad cycle downward. I'm looking for it. Hold on, y'all. Oh, it was in the beginning.
This is the first one.
Yeah. So fall starts a bad dissension. If you are not in tune to what season you're in and what's happening. All right. So we're going to winter. Tell us about winter, Mr. Thomas. You say it so well, babe.
I said the last two. Dry. Mouth dry.
So, winter is hurt. First of all, it's cold outside. Even if it's Florida cold, it's cold to us. And so if it's in Michigan cold, it's cold to them. But winter, you're cold. You got to add on a whole bunch of layers. It's a whole bunch of struggle just to put on clothes to go somewhere. Because I got to layer my clothes. I got to make sure I got the right things with me wherever you are. Whether you got to have some snow boots or
chapstick, so your lips
some chapstick, so you won't like you got dry mouth. And y'all share the see page so people can jump in while we're talking. So in the winter, it is a not so nice place. You are the emotions that come with that is hurt, anger, disappointment, loneliness, feeling rejected. You feel like he don't love you, she don't love you, they're not on your team, and so hopelessness. Yes.
This is the season where people start thinking about jumping ship.
This is a season where most people jump ship. Most people get divorced or make a bad decision to get out or to move out or to do all this stuff move out in the winter season. Winter seasons are very dangerous. So
what people don't realize is that just like all the other seasons, winter is temporary. It's not permanent.
But it feels so heavy and strong that you don't see any way out because it is cold and sometimes it could be raining and mucky and stuff like that, and you trying to it's just so many things going on,
right.
And you just don't have any hope.
Right. So what are some of the things that you guys like that happens during that time? There's destructive behaviors to the relationship, so people might be not coming home, drinking, whatever the case may be, sneaking in people's DMs and all that kind of stuff.
In the winter, people start to tiptoe out, like I said, sliding in people's DM, being a little more flirtatious at work, having conversation that's that's inappropriate because you feel like you're not getting something at home.
Because remember, you've been disengaged since the fall.
Right,
so it's been a period of time since there's been no feeding into emotionally. So you feel like you're missing something. You're not being heard. No one's listening.
And a lot of times, people not hunting in the winter.
That too.
I say hunting. That's the nice word.
Fall either, but.
Well, fall they have it sporadically.
But by the time winter comes,
she got on some crushed velvet pajamas and some footies or onesie, and she is letting you know that the shop is closed. Don't ask, don't look, don't smell, don't sniff, ain't no scratch and sniff, nothing. Don't do nothing.
Yeah, that's when people start talking to each other crazy, and you checked out emotionally.
Right. Right. So winter season is worse than summer, but all the things from the summer has carried over into winter, and there hasn't been happiness in a while. So people feel like the relationship is hopeless. Is that right? Correct.
Yes, correct.
So it's just now it doesn't. Okay, let us finish going through. We're finishing up here. We're gonna tell you how to kind of matriculate through these things.
Right.
So, but you are absolutely right, Arlise. So, in the winter, people ain't hunching. They ain't having sex. Ain't nobody twerking. Ain't nobody getting none. Ain't nobody busted wide open. Ain't nobody making their knees touch their elbows. Ain't nobody nothing.
None of that.
Ain't nobody tapping out. Nothing. They just like, I'm done. I'm checked out at this point.
Right.
There is no sense of togetherness in this winter season. It's like the couple is living in igloos. Right. You got your own, I got my own. Stay over there, I stay over here. And you talk about the bare minimum. And not even much though. Sometimes it's so short. Right. Sometimes it is so short with the the conversation that, you tend to start having, like I say, inappropriate conversation, inappropriate relationships, because now I have checked out. This is the time, and this is what I really want to hammer home on the winter, is that winter is the time that people jump ship.
Right.
In the winter, and this is the analogy my husband was giving, my brother-in-law says that you can do snow angels in your bed and you don't touch nothing. That's when she's sleeping all the way on the edge, like he better not touch me.
Right. On that one little cord on the edge of the
Boy, you have a line on your arm, but he better not touch me. I don't even want his feet to rub across me. When you be hot, you sleep all the way on the other side.
So you hot in the room. I was saying, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So, all right. So this is the thing that we're going to talk about some more things. So we know that winter is a bad time for a lot of reasons, and people are ready to leave a marriage in the winter. But I want to say, hold on.
Hold on.
Spring is coming.
Coming.
And see, what happens is people jump ship in the winter because it is the roughest time. But that next day, that next week could be your spring. Because you've been mad at him or she been mad at you, and something happened, y'all laugh, and y'all go to hunch, and y'all done made up.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, how long is the season? Let's talk about that.
Well, the season varies on the couple, because if you're not willing to work on the things that contribute to you being in that season, you'll stay there for a while.
Okay. So there's not a time frame in a season, but some seasons last longer than others. I don't know if you ever felt like you've been in winter for a long time, if you feel like you've been in the fall for a long time. There are things in your marriage times that you feel like, oh my God, is there any other seasons that's gonna come ever?
Right.
And so what we had to do though is learn the signs of the season. Now we just explained them to you, but when you can apply that to your marriage, and then you start to recognize the seasons start to be shorter. Right. Cedric and I, winter used to be astronomically long. It was horrible. Would you not say?
It was, yes.
I believe you think we ever had winter for about a year?
Maybe longer than that.
I was gonna say that, but
maybe, yeah,
we had
a couple years.
We've had winters for a couple of years. Now, because of where we are now, we don't have winter for a couple of years. And the funny thing is, we start to recognize the signs. We start to see we start to know each other's triggers, and so we try to combat that with, whatever it is that we're doing. Like if you in the summer are getting agitated, well, let's have an ice bath and just do something silly. I'm just giving an example, but you have to try to do something to break that up, because the tensions are continuing to rise, right? And then you and your feelings.
Right, and then if you have any issues that come up, you have to deal with them and resolve them. You don't let them go unresolved, and that helps.
But how?
Well, you have to communicate, talk about it.
I'm saying, with the right way.
Right. Well, yes.
We said they were dealing with it before.
No, you got to deal with it the right way.
That's the thing. You have to learn how to talk to each other. We talk about proper ways of communication. So when you have proper ways of communication, when you go to talk about them or deal with them.
Well, and then you have to be willing to try to see the other person's perspective and be willing to work toward a compromise. You can't be dogmatic about, well, this is what it is. This is what me. It has to be, okay, I can see how you feel that way. What can we do to fix the situation or be able to move forward?
Well, the funny thing, I think that both of us were very dogmatic about what we felt in the beginning. We weren't listening to each other. We were just waiting for the other person to shut up.
So I can say what I got to say.
So you got to say what you got to say. Right. So we had arguments frequently, but we never had any resolve because we weren't listening to learn or listening to hear. We were listening for you to shut up so I can tell you all the ways you wrong and how my way is better than yours. But
So you weren't listening. You was just waiting for the other person to be quiet so you can get to the point.
Correct. But people say, I was listening, but.
If you're thinking in your mind of what your response is going to be to what they're saying, then you're not listening.
You're not listening.
You can't. Right.
Because a lot of times, if you really listen to what the person's saying, well, first of all, if you learn how to communicate, your communication, you can talk about some sensitive subjects and not be offended.
But it's not just communicate. Once you earn the other person's trust,
yes,
then they'll be more open to listen to what you have to say to subjects that are sensitive.
How does a woman earn a man's trust, Mr. Thomas? Ways.
Ooh.
What's your favorite first one?
If you're asking to know something.
No, what's your favorite thing about women and what they need to do for their husbands?
I don't know.
Respect.
Oh yeah.
That's your favorite. You always say that's your biggest one, right?
I was thinking of something.
I'm sorry. I did it wrong, misleading.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that long. So, just do me.
So respect is
very important.
That was the biggest thing we had our issue with.
Obviously, if your husband doesn't feel like his wife respects him, then everything else is a wrap after that.
Thank you, Ron. Ron said good stuff. And so, do you have anything else that you think of?
Well, that's the starting point. The other thing is, if your husband shares something with, like, say for instance, women like to ask questions that they don't really want to know the answer to. That's the first one. So if you ask your husband a question and he tells you something you don't want to hear, you get mad.
And you withhold the cookie. First of all, that's not biblical, and you are sinning in that moment because you can't withhold. That's witchcraft. It's a whole nother level jump because you're doing something to get back at him in that manner.
Right, because his answer was not as you thought it should be. That's number one. And number two, if he tells you something in confidence, and then when you get upset, you bring it up later. Those are ways that you destroy trust.
I need to say that last part again because I don't think people understand how serious that is.
Right. If you having what we call pillow talk and you telling intimate, deep secrets about yourself, and then once you get into an argument, it's brought up again as firepower against you,
or to somebody else,
that's a problem. That trust has been destroyed, and you can guarantee you're not gonna get told anything else.
Nothing else. Nothing. Okay, what are you saying? Great.
That's a great tool we learned from you guys, seeing the other person's perspective. That has helped us so much. With our new marriage, we took the butt out of all of our communication. Yeah, you gotta think about it.
I'm so glad.
What does butt mean, babe?
I cancel out everything you said before.
Correct.
So if you say, "Well, I'm hearing you, but," that means everything you just said, I just disregard.
You are so beautiful, but
wait. Huh? So when you put "but" in there, it cancels out everything you said before then. So even if you're having a conversation that you need to say something else, you might want to try although. Right. However, you want to learn to use our words. Let's pull some vocabulary in, and we be like, but then that means that everything that was said before is just gone to the wind.
So again, when you do that, when you say about this, you have to communicate, but it's how you communicate.
Correct.
So you have to be specific.
Pacific, like
the ocean, on what you're saying, because you can have all the conversation and the talking you want, but if your point is not getting across, then you're not communicating.
Well, this is the thing that I know. I'm gonna say ladies, but lately we find out men have been doing this too.
Yeah.
When you have an issue to address, stay focused and address that issue. Like we were talking about during summer, we were bringing up everything. We got hot.
Keep it short and sweet.
If my issue is not feeling loved by him, then babe, lately I just been feeling a little lonely. I feel like, I'm not doing it for you anymore. I want to know what I can do to improve our connection, our marriage. Not, what? You always been treating me like that. Remember the day you did such and such? See, now that makes that you don't complete this particular issue that's going on.
Not to mention, you can't focus and fix one thing at a time. If you try to fix 10, 11 things at a time, it's not going to be successful. No. That's not efficient.
One issue.
One at a time.
I would say per night or per day or something. Because if you do too many issues, then you're going to not want to talk to that person. If every time you meet somebody, they have something negative to say, or they say, "Oh, girl, you fat. Oh, girl, you this. Oh, girl, you whatever." After a while, you're gonna run away from that person. Why? Not that you don't want to see them, but their words are nobody wants to be around people that puts them down.
Right. Nobody wants to be around negative people all the time. Right. Especially your spouse. That's supposed to be your safe haven, your teammate. It's supposed to be building you up to help you be the best person or the best version of you that you can be.
Right. So we're talking about, okay, so did you finish your ways that women, you said respect. I know it's big on how you said how you talk to them, how we talk to you guys.
Yeah, that's part of respect. And then, like I said about,
I mean, you have to might break it down.
Telling when you ask a question and don't get the answer that you want, getting mad, and like you said, withholding the cookie, acting stank, don't want to talk.
Holding nothing.
And then when you get told certain information and you bring it back up later or tell somebody else.
Trusting it when he entrusted you with something,
so that ruins the trust,
something that happened to him when he was little, something that he never shared with anybody else. And as soon as you get mad, you start to share all his business. He is definitely not sharing anything else with you. I'm gonna tell you, it is hard to get a man to open up to you. And if he opens up and you got your mouth running and you spit that information out back to him in an argument or at the wrong time, when I tell you when he locked that thing down, men lock down worse than women because they're not natural communicators. So when they lock it down, it's all the way down.
You cannot be trusted at that point.
Yes. Yeah, and it's very hard to fix that.
Very hard. I want to ask you about how do women, or do you feel like, this is a side question before I ask the first question. Do you feel like women are more easily given of their trust than men? That's part A. Part B, how do men earn that trust from women? But before you answer that, everybody go ahead and hit the share button, the like button. Share this with your friends. Hit the like button. Give us some hearts if you are with us. We need some feedback. Holler at us. Let us know we're on the right track here. If you like what we're saying.
You gave me a two-part question.
Yes.
So the first one, do I feel like women trust more easily than men?
Do they give it away easier than men? Yes.
Give what away?
The trust.
I know you did like that.
No, not that. The trust.
Their
trust.
It depends.
Okay.
Generally speaking, yes.
Right.
But there are a lot of women scorned. And even the good man can't come in because they are so stuck on who damaged them before.
Right.
You meet a good man and you put everything that somebody else has done to you or the person that came before him on him, and he can't fight a battle that he doesn't know he had.
Right. So I'm glad you brought that up because we had a situation in our relationship.
I was gonna tell my own story, my own issue.
Well, tell it. Let it go. Let it flow.
I had a guy that I was dating, and he was raggedy. He was busy. He was trifling, and my trust was absolutely shot. So I did not trust Cedric. Cedric didn't give me a reason not to trust him. I did not trust Cedric. And when he moved, I moved just like that. If he going to the store, I'm going too. I felt like if you was going to find somebody better at the store. If you going, you going to leave me. I don't know what I was thinking. My mind was in a horrible. If you see this Miss Thomas right here today in 2020, you would not have known her in 2002, 2001. I was the most jealous and insecure person that you would ever know. I can admit that. And I still can't tell people exactly all of how God changed that, other than me going to God and asking him to help me, because I said, this is no way to live. I was like, I can't be so busy worrying about where he is or looking at his phone or see if he wrote text somebody. I was so busy trying to make something up that I was driving myself crazy. And so that's because of what just happened to me. So I was projecting. And so I think women trust easier, because once you do a few things and you say ain't like him, then women do kind of put their guard down. Men be like, I'm gonna have to see what she do. There's certain things that each man look for. It's different for each man, but you know, you want to see, some men want to see how he treat her mama, how she treat her mama, how she interact with her family, how she keep house, how she, you know, take care of kids, different things like that. So, but each man has a different thing they're looking for. They're not going to tell you what they're looking for. They just going to know whether you got it or not. It's a test that you don't have any preparation for. So what was the second part of that? You said
you could give it away easier,
mm-hmm.
and you said you didn't really know exactly. You just went to God about how you.
What was the first one then?
Who gives the trust away easier, men
oh,
or
okay,
women?
Okay.
You said women in certain situations.
So let me tell you how women, how men, and what was the question I had about earning your respect? I mean, what would we need to do in order to get your trust?
Right, to earn the trust.
Earn the trust. See, we asking too many questions. He know I can't do all these many questions and I resolve to do.
That's why you only resolve one issue at a time.
Right, because you get off topic and you be like, what?
Yeah, you go off.
So women need security. They need consistency. I.e., what I mean, and respect, but it's more of security for women. Security financially, security physically, security mentally. If you got a man that y'all having a problem and he like, oh Lord, what we gonna do? If you flipping out like that, then there are times where I am irate or frustrated or angry, like somebody did something to my kids or whatever. Cedric is that still small voice. Now I know God is that, but he's in my face like, hey, they don't matter to you in this thing, or he gives me some perspective that although I know it ain't nowhere in my
come to mind.
It is not in these memory banks at that moment on how to handle this better. So you got to be the level-headed person. If you always put the family, not always, if you put the family in danger, because like there are times that things have happened, and Cedric, and this is a part of having the trust of your husband, right? Level-headed. Yes. So I'm gonna tell you two examples. It was a time that we were somewhere and something happened. Cedric said, "Don't move," or something, you know, like that. Now, if I be like, "Why we don't move?" You know, he was watching some stuff that was going on around that I wasn't even paying attention to. But my slick mouth, if I would have popped off, could have been the reason something happened to us. The other part was I had knee surgery. We were in a movie, and I was recovering. I was, you know, well, I'll practice then, I think.
Just having a knee brace.
Right. So these boys had been walking back and forth in the movie across this by this family, and it was getting the end of the movie, and I got up, and Cedric kind of pushed me, and I was like, "What?" But what I didn't know is that these young men had been walking back and forth. They had been taunting this boy and bothering his dad, and it was a family. So Cedric felt some kind of way, first of all, because you don't disrespect nobody, daddy, and whatever else. And if my son with me, you ain't gonna be bothering him when he with me. That's what we're not gonna do. Right. But I didn't pay attention to all the stuff that was happening. But I liked the fact that he was aware, he was calm, and that was the moment I learned if he tell me to duck, just duck. If he told me to move, just move. If he pushed me down, I know he pushed me down to do something to save me, not because he's trying to hurt me. Because he saw it was two boys finna fight the boy and the daddy face. That he didn't want me to get in that melee. And so sometimes women, we have to be able to be led. We want a leader, but then when he lead us, don't do it like that. Don't tell us how to do it. And you shouldn't have pushed me like that. If pushing me gonna save my life, you don't. The time people take to do an explanation might be your life and death.
People, women want a leader, but don't want to follow. Woo! They have it both ways.
How about that?
Water don't go up here.
Yes. And so this is the thing. We want a man, we want the head of the household. We pray, Lord, give me my Boaz and give me this. But when he comes into your life and he's trying to lead you in the way that God would have him lead you to protect you and cover you, don't do it that way. Why you gotta do like that? And my daddy did this, and my this did that. Listen, Either you want the man that God gave you or you don't. This is not Build-A-Bear. This is not Mr. Potato Head. You don't get to pick and choose what you put on him. God has designed this man just for you. Let him be the man. I really, it gets under my nerves, gets under my skin when I see women, and I call it deballing the man. When you talk to him crazy out in public or in front of other people, that don't make you look good at all. If you understand how stupid you look by talking to him sideways, because the fact that my husband is confident, people be like, "Oh my God, I want a man like that." They be like, he got brothers," and it's not even. It ain't got nothing to do with. It don't have nothing to do with how he look, how he dress. It's the confidence and the protection and the security that they see, and that confidence they see when he walk in a room. We went to a wedding one time, and somebody walked up to Cedric, and I was kind of walking behind him, and they said, "I don't know who you are, but you're somebody, and I just want to shake your hand." You have to let your man walk with authority, but when you beat him down constantly, then he got his head hang low, and then you look like you got your little puppy.
Right.
You don't want a puppy.
But they say they don't want that with their mouth, but their actions say that's what they want.
Correct.
Because they're happy with that.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa said that's good. He's
he's
your protector. Oh, I'm so sorry we missed.
No, we good.
The thing about it that I really want us to see in right now we're having longer seasons, right, longer winters because we're stuck in the house. Things are not open like they used to be. So right now it's a lot of people in the winter and they're about to jump ship in their marriage. They want to leave, they want to give up. But spring is right around the corner, and you can aid in speeding up that process. Right. Change your attitude, change your outlook, change your mindset, change the atmosphere in your house. I remember times when things were kind of really tight with us and tension. We weren't even fussing, but it was just not. We weren't vibing. When the kids say vibing, we weren't vibing. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. We weren't. The vibe was gone. Right. So I would put on praise music because it is hard for the presence of God to come somewhere and you still be stank. Right. If you do, you got some real stuff going on in here. Like I told you, one of the things we use as a tool is if we're in an argument or a heated debate that we can't get any resolution with, I grab his hand and say, "Let's pray." Now, he has had some attitudes and he didn't want to pray, but how the man of God, Minister Thomas, going to say he don't want to pray and take this to God? And it's something about going to God saying, "Lord, show us us. Lord, fix us," not fix him and not fix her, but fix us. We want to be examples of your kingdom. Then it'll shift. And something just simple have changed our atmosphere a lot.
What does it mean when someone has a name on their
name? They're tagging people in it that they want to see.
So I'm gonna go
yes,
quickly and read some of these.
Talana say attitude is key. Yes, go ahead.
Crystal said level-headed in the midst of chaos.
You gotta speak. You can't speak. Yeah, you can't read them out fast.
Women are naturally emotional, so it's man's position to protect.
Yes.
Absolutely, they have eyes everywhere. Lisa said that's good. He's your protector. I think you said that, right?
Yeah.
Crystal says great teaching.
Thank you, Crystal.
Lee says preach. Crystal says yes. And Talana says attitude is key, and it is.
This is the thing. Key. I just know that in this time, the divorce rates are up. We talked about the fact that murder suicide is up, domestic violence is up, and we as Christians can't be in the same number with the people that's in the world.
But no, that you gotta look at it like this. You're already married. You already made a huge investment in this other person. It's a pandemic. You're gonna be in the house together. You might as well make the environment the best that it can be.
Then you're gonna be in the house all sad, right, eating Oreos, crying, watching sad movies, right, eating ice cream and ho-hos and all that.
Yeah, you in the house and everybody is miserable.
What I'm saying, but like people are moving out. Right. Like this is the time to cling to each other because you don't know what this world is coming to, what's happening next. And in the words of my husband, he think the purge coming.
Purge.
So he got so many pieces of steel in his house, the God Almighty. But you just have to realize that you're a team. And these seasons come. You didn't now I would say our winters might even be a week or two. Yeah, if that. We don't have those long seasons. We try to stay in spring, honey. We can frolic. In our word, we're going to frolic.
In the flowers.
In the flowers. We're going to frolic.
Yes, buddy.
But I'm just saying that, I'm just saying about 3 times. Same I meant to say. Sorry, I'm just saying. We just wanted to come so you could come. We want to talk to you tonight.
We want to come before you this evening.
Just to tell you that there is hope. That winter don't last always. Remember song, trouble don't last always. Winter don't last always.
Spring is on the horizon.
Spring
it's coming.
Is one call away. One night away.
One call.
You know that song?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, it's right around the corner. And if you give up, you missing your blessing. Right. And trust me, somebody else will get your blessing.
You better believe it.
Alana.
We have to have hope, and your life will change if you choose to always rejoice.
Yeah, Talana and her husband run together. They work out. They go ride the bikes together. Find something to do together. Yeah, we working on it. Well, you worked out with me a couple times lately. We've been doing a little more things together in the house because we have to be creative in the house. Because this chick right here don't go out in this pandemic. I'm sorry. I'm not going to no dates. I'm not going out to no restaurants. We can get a carry out. Yeah, my immune system is suppressed. Yeah. I have something that would cause me to be dead if I get it. Arlise, you're behind too. I see you, but I see Arlise out all the time. Hey, son, Arlise, I'm gonna whoop up.
How we gonna do this often? Yeah.
We do it every Monday, Arlise.
Monday at 7.
Okay, so for the first 5 years, we did it every Monday, but we've been doing it for the last 4 weeks now. So yeah, we're back to Mondays. The only thing about this new Facebook, I can't invite people like I used to. It won't let me, like I used to open my list and invite the people I know. It won't let me do it.
You'll figure it out.
So anyway, the stay at home has felt like grand sleepers. Yeah, oh my God. But listen, Talana, you can have a sleepover and be hunching and you ain't gotta go tell your parents and you gotta be sneaking. But you can play hide and go get it. I'm just gonna tell you, you have to be creative.
Lisa said it was good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Lisa.
We enjoyed it.
You know the thing about it is that people think when we talk on our shows that this for married people, but this actually rolls into all aspects of your life.
For all relationships.
All relationships of your life. And if you plan on getting a husband, you don't want to wait. Just like if you're gonna take a test, you don't wait till the day of the test to try to study for it. So this is the time you learn what you want to do. You might think that you wanted this guy that was this, that, and the other. And then you like, ooh, child, I don't know that anymore. You got to know that God led you because for better or for worse, don't mean when he started getting on my nerves, because he'd be like, oh, I fell out of love. Fall your raggedy behind back in. I had to do it.
What was that song that said forever is a mighty long time?
That's a Christian song. Forever is a long time.
Is it?
Forever is a long time. Who's that, Crystal? Lisa, one of y'all.
Oh, that's how much I love you. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Nelson or Jason Nelson, one of him. Yeah. The song is called Forever. All right.
I'm not married, and it helps me, and I love y'all. One of
you know what it is?
Catherine.
You know what it is?
One of a kind.
She call you daddy. That's AJ girlfriend.
Oh. Her name say Catherine.
Baby, my name say Goldilocks. I'm not Goldilocks.
Yeah, I don't know. No one of.
So anyway,
how you doing, honey?
Make sure that you share this to your page. Yes, Jason Nelson. I thought I knew it was one of them, but look, see.
Jason's, I don't know.
But that song is Forever's a Long Time. But that's the thing. We gotta stay right. When you make sure that now your flesh is not telling you that's who God gave you, because you married the wrong person, you stuck. You is stuck like Chuck. So anyway, we're coming every Monday. I just hope that people don't jump ship in this winter season. And this goes for jobs, decisions. In winter, you want to make a rash decision because you're sick of everybody, sick of what's going on. But hold on. Don't jump ship in winter. It's not good. It's not good to make decisions in winter. Hold on. Why you gonna look like that?
Because when you holding on, you're going through something.
Hey, Erica.
That church face.
That's not. So we're getting ready to close out in prayer. We thank you. We appreciate everybody. We ask you to to forward this, to share it to your page,
like it, all that.
Send it to somebody you know that's in a marriage that's in this winter and they ready to give up. Because
put us on your schedule for Monday.
Schedule it. Mondays at 7. Schedule. I don't know what that means. You praying to me? I pray that's it. Come on. Lord, we thank you for this Monday night. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for each and every person that has been on this particular broadcast, people that are going to watch it later. Lord, you have a word from them in this time and in this season, Lord. Lord, we pray that you would touch each and every marriage, each and every single person, Lord, that in this winter season that we will hold on. Even in time of uncertainty, we will hold on. Even when we don't even know what the future holds or we feel no hope, help us to hold on. And I know we say to God's unchanging hand, but that's not just a song. It's not cliche. We have to hold on to your hand. I'm not going to let you go till you bless me. So, Lord, we thank you right now for touching marriages, touching lives, people that are dating, Lord, help them to make the right decisions, not emotional, not physical, not sexual decisions. Help them make decisions that the man and woman of God that you have designed for them. So we thank you right now. We call today blessed. We cancel the assignment of the enemy over these marriages, over these engagements, over these single people, Lord, that the wrong person that the devil is trying to send their way, that they will be able to see through it and they'll have flashing lights, Lord, that this is not the one. So I thank you right now. We call it done in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, guys. We made just look. We got an hour this time. We ain't go over.
Look at you. Look at God using you in a mighty way. Hey,
you so extra.
Shondo.
Wait a minute. See
that was anointing right there.
That was a what?
Yes, I just blessed you.
Share. What else we can do? Look, we was matching. He saw me put my shirt on. He wouldn't put my shirt on. He wanted to coordinate. I go, my boobies look really big. Sorry, y'all. Bye, Talama. Bye, Arlene. Like I said, good night, Jim Boy. Good night, John Bob. Ooh, y'all can't see these nappy roots. I look like I got some hairstyle going right here. Lisa, that was amazing. Love y'all. You can hit in. Ooh.